It's the third time they've hosted a home game up at Anembo Park in Mount Barker. James Harris here, and alongside me is Steph Trzynski and a very special guest, the CEO of the CFS Foundation, Gloria Burney. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having me, James. I'm super excited to be here, and if this game last year, the Friday night game last year, is anything to go by, I'm excited for a cracker.
What was the score, Steph?
It was 0-0. It was a nail-biter.
0-0 through 7 innings. And Gloria, we've just been talking to you off screen, and you've been telling us that you're actually quite an avid supporter of the softball because your niece, we're name dropping here, only the best, is Belinda White.
That's right. She's my husband's niece, so mine by marriage, and she is a great girl.
Well, terrific player as well, but you nailed the most important part. She is a great person, so no doubt she'll be watching. So, hi, Belinda.
Hope
Make
so.
sure she gets on and supports the CFS Foundation. That's why
right.
you're here.
Belinda, you should have come down.
Well, the CFS Foundation supporting volunteer firefighters is the reason that we're here tonight. And you can see the Hills Heat and Glenelg Rebels have both got behind the cause. And we can see the magnificent visors and socks and belts that both teams are wearing tonight. You must be proud to see the CFS Foundation supported by softball.
Oh, and just to see everybody dressed up in the red and yellow checker plate and pushing the emergency services is fantastic.
We saw Smokey the Bear get chased around the diamonds before by the kids. That's fantastic to see as well. But let's talk the teams and Steph Trzynski, Stars player, Aussie Spirit player, and West Torrens superstar, dual CAF Coral medalist. The two teams coming up tonight, plenty on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Hills versus Glenelg, both of them sitting in the 5 and 6 hole, respectively. Hills are really just knocking on the door of that 4 spot, really trying to fight their way into the finals. And as we know, all you need to do is make that 4 spot, and anything in March, like, you never know what's going to happen. All right, so this game is every game from now on, really important, really crucial for both teams.
All right, just about to get underway with the first pitch. Noah Krishna is pitching for the Hills Heat to Caitlin Carroll, leading off for the Rebels. And Noah just having a little trouble with the mat. They don't normally pitch off mats down at West Beach, but up here at Anembo Park, we are throwing off a mat. So just trying to get her footing there. We'll let her alone for that one. And it might actually be a good start for Caitlin Carroll, looking down the line at Coach Brinkworth, and Nat just shook her head and said, don't go for the next one. 2-0 count. So ahead of the count early here, Caitlin Carroll. Good to see her back in the Rebels lineup. We missed the last couple of games, didn't she? She hurt herself right before the break, yep.
Oh, wow.
And here she is, Caitlin Carroll.
Yeah, she's a really important part of that Glenelg leadoff, and especially in that lineup in that leadoff position. As you can see already, she's making Noah throw a few pitches, really working her hard. And she's a fantastic little triple threat. She can hit long, or double threat, I suppose she's right-handed, but she can hit long and she's really speedy on the base paths too.
Well, Noah finding her groove. She went 3-0 and she's fought back to a 3-2 count. So we'll see a payoff pitch here on the first batter. And Gloria, you said you go down to West Beach and enjoy some of the action sometimes. You're impressed with the athletes you see in front of you, low for a ball?
Yeah, honestly, the girls have just started, but it was excellent seeing the boys earlier. Tell you what, it's just as cold here as it is at West Beach, isn't it?
Well, it is a summer evening. We saw spots of rain throughout the day, but the skies have cleared right up, so there's a little chill in the breeze, but should be pretty comfortable for the players out there, I would have thought. Here's Megan Wheatley. She's batting 2. Carroll can get off to a big jump because Georgia King at first base. We'll go around the diamonds in a moment. Georgia King at first base charges on down. Katie Press, who commentated last night for us on the CMAX Premier League, is on deck for the Rebels. Shows bunt, pulls out. So no strikes so far on Wheatley. She goes to a 2-0 count. And we will go around the diamond with the Hills Heat defense in just a moment. Tyler Asland is the catcher this evening for the Hills. Only been in the country for 11 days. She joined us in commentary in the men's game earlier. And men's game kicked off tonight's CFS round with a bang. Jared Farrell throwing 15 strikeouts, earning him the player of the game. And we're all here to support the CFS Foundation, including Spacequake Sports. How's this? Let's kick things off here with the donations. Spacequake Sports, Gloria, you're going to love this, are going to donate $50 per run and $10 per strikeout tonight. So there's the challenge. The challenge is out there to everyone who's watching at home. Either match that or do better. And if you're a business, we'll shout your business out as well. And all the money is going to go towards a great cause. And Gloria, we'll touch on what the CFS Foundation does in just a moment. Another full count, Steph.
Yeah, Megs has done a really great job here. She drives that into centre right. Maddie's going to get she's just going to miss that one as Megs is going to run 2. Is she going to run 3? And Caitlin Carroll's going to hold up a 3 with a stand-up double for Megan Wheatley.
Oh, double for Wheatley. Carroll's over at third. A fast start for Glenelg. And well, it's exactly what they wanted. And you mentioned it earlier, Steph. It was a 0-all ball game through 7 innings this time last year. So great start for the Rebels. Katie Press, as we mentioned, the batter in the box. Really featured in that Stars versus Stars and Stripes game in between Christmas and New Year. She started off with a hit and that fast start. Remember, it was 5-0 after the first inning. You played in that game,
I did
Steph.
play in that game.
You should be happy.
I did play in that game, and it was a
fantastic
fantastic game, and it was a really, really good opportunity for our Stars team to get a good hit out before that big national tournament in January. Great change by Noah there. She scoots over, picks it up, fires the out at 1.
Big arm from Kistner, who had to rush down for that miss-hit ball. Let's have a look at the CMAX replay. She comes running in and she fires it across for the first out. Runners don't move. Yeah, just a check swing that went fair.
What a fantastic pitch there, that change up. And I tell you what, James, I have a big spot in my heart for an athletic pitcher that can field the ball like that, because she immediately picked up that Peyton was sort of in no man's land, following along with that base runner on third base, and left that gap open, especially on the grass. The ball sort of deadened a little bit, maybe a little bit more than what we might be used to out on the dirt field, but Noah did a fantastic job to pick that ball up. It's a little check of the runner at 3 and fire the out at 1.
Back-to-back Americans in the lineup. Here's Carissa McBurney for the Rebels, playing first base tonight. Watches that one through for a called strike. 1-1. There's 2 runners aboard. At the 4-hitter, Jade Peterson to follow up. Crowd has really started to build here at Anembo Park as Kistner finds that outside edge. And although it's CMAX who's bringing us tonight's game, very special thanks to the CFS Foundation. And thanks to CFS, we'll go around the umpire, Steve Olasharo behind the plate, Michael Bendel at first, and Damien McCauley at third. There, your umpires officiating tonight's game.
That was a timely little block there by Steve Wallace-Yarrow, I think, on that ball.
Yeah. So the Hills Heat can give their thanks to the umpires as well tonight. Steph, you're getting away. You've got some fans over to the left. Just jams her a little bit there and had her handcuffed so she couldn't get a swing away, but it's just missed the inside edge. Yep. Third full count of the inning for the 4th batter.
Yeah, Glenelg definitely making Noah work as she swings through, and that pitch is going to be a drop third foul ball, foul tip. Take that back.
Yeah. So if the foul tip is caught, the batter is out on a third strike. Otherwise, if the catcher doesn't take the foul tip, the batter lives again. That one catches the outside edge. So the first strikeout of the game with 2 runners in scoring position. Turn the K the other way. And that is, thank you, Steph, the first $10. So thanks to Spacequake Sports, the first $10 to the CFS Foundation.
I know, not a nice way to raise money. I'd rather they were, winning.
I mean, for a pitcher.
Yeah. Oh,
it's a great way for a pitcher.
Yes, true.
Here's the Glenelg Rebels pitcher up to bat now, Jade Peterson. She fouls this one off.
Going straight into a bag of tricks there, Krishna, with the change-up first pitch on Jade Peterson.
Yeah, and always a tough one to face your first pitch of the ball game, because you wouldn't have seen any change-ups in your warm-up.
Not particularly.
fires that next one in there, so a called strike. So although Kistner gave up a walk and a double to the first two batters, she fielded a ground ball to get pressed and then a strikeout on McBurney and already ahead of the count 0-2 to Peterson. Gets her hands to it, but great take from Georgia King at first base. Didn't get to go around the diamond, but the young star from the Hills Heat cleans that one up. And $10 to the tally, thanks to Spacequake Sports in that first inning. And now that we've got that inning break and we can see the Hills Heat coming in with a little bit of momentum after they denied Glenelg in the first inning, we've got Gloria Burney here with us, Chief Executive Officer of the CFS Foundation. There you can see it on screen. Just some images of the work that our Country Fire Service volunteers do. And Gloria, just tell us a little bit about the CFS Foundation, how it started and what they do.
Well, the CFS Foundation started, in early 2000, over 20 years ago now, and it's there to look after the welfare of our volunteers that get impacted during the course of their volunteering. And it's not just bushfires. They do a lot of other things, like they've been assisting with the flood clean-up, they do chemical spills, they attend lots of other incidents, and the foundation is there for when they need it. Just after those horrible bushfires, 2019 and 20, we looked after the volunteers from Kangaroo Island, Cuddly Creek, the southeast, and gave them immediate financial support of over $3.5 million back then, because the nature of the losses were huge. Hopefully, it hasn't been so bad in the last couple of years, and you know, we do a lot more as well. We pay for a mental health first aid officer to look after the mental health of our CFS volunteers. The smoky bears that you see around, we give them to the CFS brigades to have on their trucks. So if they ever go to an incident where they do a lot of car accidents, they're usually the first responders on the scene. And if there's any children who are in the cars who might be upset, they'll find that if they give them that Smokey the Bear, it tends to calm them down.
Amazing.
Yes, so through our sponsors Electronet, we give out small equipment to the brigades, and there's 425 brigades around South Australia, and 14,000 volunteers, so it's quite a huge volunteer force we've got out there. In fact, even tonight we've got two brigades, Littlehampton and Brakunga, who have come down to support the event.
I did my CFS training at Brakunga many years ago. I was out at Concordia, just out of Gawler.
Yes.
And then about 9 months later, I moved into the city. So it was a short stint, but I still did my training out at Brakunga.
Oh, okay, you still remember any of your training? In case there's an incident, we'll get you back out there.
Well, it took in my brother's footsteps, actually. He was a CFS volunteer for 7 years and then joined the MFS. So
always a good step up.
Yeah. First pitch is Talia La Rosa leading off for the Hills Heat. And she pops up to Megan Wheatley at shortstop for the first out. It's always so fascinating to hear about some of the services that are out there. And Steph, you were telling me that your work, Lululemon, actually provides support to first responders.
Yeah, coming through COVID especially, there was a really tough time for everyone. So at Lululemon, we actually have a military and first responders discount. So anyone who works as a first responder or in the military, so our fireys absolutely qualify for that, or actually we like to offer them 25% off all of our products in store.
Amazing.
That's great. I think we'll share that information.
Fantastic.
Give Lululemon a nice plug.
And I can actually see some Smokey the Bears just behind. You can see them on screen just behind the catchers. There they are. Yeah, you can see them just behind the home plate there. Let's see a couple of Smokey the Bears out there in the field.
Oh, those kids won those in the little race that they did with the bear.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
To chase Smokey around the bases. Well, this is Abby Jorgensen hitting two for the Hills Heat. Fouls that one off and goes to 2-2. So Jade Peterson looking pretty sharp to start.
As always, James. Jade always looking pretty sharp. She's always very consistent, very economical with her pitching out there.
One of the more, let's just call her a veteran instead of saying her actual age. Has been around for a long time and known as a strikeout specialist. Won a premiership with Seacombe about a decade ago. Just jams Jorgensen, fouls it off. We can quickly go around the diamond. Jade Peterson pitching to Katie Press. Carissa McBurney at first. Tate Nicholson at second. Gemma Cochran at third. And Megan Willey at shortstop. Outfield left to right. Bree McGee, Caitlin Carroll and Sophie Walcott. There's your Glenelg defence. Strikeout swinging. Add $10 to the tally. David and your team at Spacequake Sports. And while we were looking at the vision, while you were telling us what the CFS does, there's actually a QR code that you can scan and you can donate to the CFS Foundation. There it is in the top right of the screen. So the link is also pinned to the comments of this stream as Megan Williams gets after that one. Aggressively fouls that one off. So that's a couple ways of raising funds for the CFS Foundation. Gloria, what's another way that people can support the CFS Foundation?
Well, you know, if you ever want to hold an event and raise some money for us, that'd be fantastic.
How did they contact you through the website? Or?
Yes, look, we've got a easy website. We can go on there and, you know, click on hold a fundraiser. If you'd like to donate, you can go through the company you work for, see if they want to do payroll giving, or even if they'd like to become a sponsor. We are always looking for businesses to support us. We're not government funded. We really survive on the you know, the support we get from the community and local businesses, and we've got some great sponsors like SA Power Networks, Electronet, the RAA, Access Datacom, Police Credit Union, make sure, Northeast.
Don't forget someone.
No, don't want to leave anyone out, because these people are what keep us going. But we've got some CFS volunteers that are playing tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, Joe Harvey's going to join us in commentary after your short stint as well. But yeah, they did a photo shoot, I think. Kingsley Elliott, I think, is one of them. And yeah, you mentioned the couple of the brigades that are out here showing their support tonight. And they know some of the volunteer firefighters that are playing. As one of the units takes off now, they tell me they got a call out.
Oh, I hope not.
This one fouls off. There it is, Little Hampton.
I can't see any smoke in the air.
Little Hampton just down the road. Actually, I think we're in Little Hampton technically. I keep saying that we're in Mount Barker, but Menbo Park's in Little Hampton. So
there he goes.
Off the team goes in the truck. Strikeout. So 2 for the innings for Peterson. And $30 on the tally thanks to Spacequake Sports. And Gloria's all about it. Hey, I'm just on it right now. Joe Liddell has donated. Amanda Fairley, there's an anonymous donation of $50 as well. So we are up and running. This is coming along. It'd be interesting to see if we can see a running tally. 200 raised so far. There's a $10,000 goal. 3 donations already made. And of course, that $30 from Spacequake Sports. That tally will grow throughout the night. I'm sure there'll be more strikeouts and runs scored. Gloria, I'm going to just ask you to stick around just for a couple more minutes. Let's talk a little bit more about the CFS Foundation, the amazing work they do. But tell us why it's important that people get behind the CFS Foundation and support it.
I think you know, the CFS Foundation is quite unique in the way that we're set up, because the money we get is held in trust for the welfare of CFS volunteers, and none of the other states in Australia do that. If you give money to the New South Wales Country Fire Service or the Victorian one, it goes to the government because they're government funded. So all the money that is donated to us is held in trust strictly for the volunteers. It's not used for anything else. And I think if you lived in the Adelaide Hills or anywhere else in South Australia, the CFS are the first responders. It's not only fires, it's car accidents. Yep. And if you value these guys who volunteer, and they volunteer 24/7, there's no Christmas Day off or Easter, they're out there working, looking after your community. And I think about in summer, when we're inside in those air-conditioned buildings, they're out there in their helmets and their heavy jackets, fighting fires.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
If you value the CFS, support them through the foundation.
I
There you
think
go.
that even when I was at work recently, I was speaking to someone who, I'm not sure if they volunteer, but they work as a firefighter. And we were talking about how the great weather was coming up. And he was like, oh, well, it's really warm today. So actually, I'm on call all day. And I was like, I didn't even think about how I'm out enjoying this beautiful weather. And there's all these people out there that are working, volunteering on call because of that sort of that hotter weather. So that really like resonated with me at that point.
Yeah.
One of the viewers who's watching, Jess Maslin, a Cathcart medalist and a former state representative, lives in and around the Pinery region where the Pinery fires were. She was supported by the CFS, so such an important cause, and she actually just gave a little shout out in the comments just to say she wished she could have been here to support it. So there you go. It's touching people around every community around the state, including the softball community. First base runner for the inning is Gemma Cochrane, base on balls. So lead off on again for Glenelg. Very important. She gets a big jump. New batter is Tate Nicholson. She shows bunt and a called strike. Goes at this one, but fouls it off, and Tyler Aslan just gets a foul ball for troubles.
We do love our catchers. They get pretty beat up back there sometimes. So as a pitcher, it's always good to acknowledge, say thank you to all the hard work they do for us back there. Shout out to anyone who's ever had to catch me. What a fantastic pitch by Noah there. You can see something she does really well. She throws the ball really hard. She hits those really good spots. She's got that bit of a curveball. She's got that cracking screwball that you can see is really her go-to pitch. Just missed on that one, but the precision she's able to pitch with is really going to be her best asset.
Low for a ball, so 2-2 count, and Nicholson, the youngster, has got herself back into this count after going 0-2. Cochrane still on first. High for a ball, so we'll go to a full count. So terrific at bat from the youngster.
Definitely doing a good job of making Noah throw those pitches. It is a little bit of an unfamiliar environment for her. She fouls that ball off and stays alive. But you can see, I think Noah's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, getting a little bit more familiar with the surroundings and the mat, as well as pitching to Tyler, the catcher, probably for, I imagine they haven't worked together that often, so they're just starting to get familiar.
Yeah, they're just starting to get used to Noah's pitching, and there's a strikeout looking, so add another $10 to the tally. That's up to 40 now thanks to Spacequake Sports, and I think I'm just going to say it. Someone's got to match Spacequake Sports. Unbelievable to donate that sort of money. Obviously a great cause and means something to David and his team at Spacequake. So Gemma Cochrane remains at first. This is Sophie Walcott up to bat. We've mentioned them already. This is Noah Kissner and Tyler Aslan, the battery for the Hills Heat. We'll go around the diamond in just a moment. Called strike. Georgia King at first base, Talia La Rosa at second, Peyton Daniels at third, Megan Williams at shortstop, and the outfield left to right, Abby Jorgensen, Maddie Rocha, and Lara Tamke is your defensive lineup for the Hills Heat. Close.
Oh, that melts my heart as a pitcher. Oh.
And a pretty good selling job from Aslan behind the plate. They couldn't bring it in close enough, though, to be called. Steve Wallashara, our state umpire-in-chief. Right onto that. This one fouled off it. She hit it hard out to the right side. Gloria, we'll let you go in between this inning, but I just really want to thank you for joining us. The CFS round and the CFS Foundation, such a great cause, and we've found that the softball community really gets behind its causes. Next weekend's Pride round. Later in the month, it'll be Indigenous round, as well as we had mental health round and breast cancer awareness round earlier in the season as well. This is a great addition to the softball community. So I any words at all for the Hills softball that contacted you to be a part of it and the softball community?
Yeah, I'd really like to thank Lynn Adams, who reached out and said how they wanted to hold a fundraiser for the CFS Foundation because they really valued the CFS. And yeah, and I hope the round goes really well for everybody and they have a good, good event. And I'd also like to thank you and Steph for talking to me.
Oh.
Thank you.
No worries at all.
James will talk to anyone, though, in all fairness.
Yes, and for the people out there who are watching, if you value the CFS and the volunteers that look after our communities, please donate to the foundation and support this cause. Thank you.
No worries at all. Thank you, Gloria. Absolute pleasure to have the CEO of the CFS Foundation join us. And, well, there you go. Just a little bit of insight into an important cause supporting such an important part of everyone's community, and that is the CFS. And Bree McGee's the batter in the box, and have a look at the pigtails just tied up by the red and yellow checker ribbon. The belt with the red and yellow checker across it, and Glenelg and the Hills Heat just wearing the clashing socks as well. The red for Glenelg and the yellow.
Yeah, I just noticed that. They look fantastic, the way that the two clubs have organised the colouring. That looks awesome. Good job, team. There's that screwball by Kistner, and she just paints that inside corner. Just as Gloria was chatting too, Noah threw a cracker of an inside drop ball to rally up another strikeout for the tally.
Yep, that's it. So $30 thanks to...
Look very similar to that one there.
Make it 3 strikeouts in the inning. So $30, make it 40 from the hand of Noah Kistner and $60 in total. Thanks to Spacequake Sports. We want the $50 though. We want a big run in this inning. And if you don't know, we've mentioned it a couple of times, Spacequake Sports are donating $50 per run and $10 per strikeout in this game. As our second guest joins us, Joe Harvey. Welcome to the call, mate.
Hey, how you going, guys?
Now, Joe, you would have seen him in the men's game just prior, playing for the Pirates. Now, it didn't turn out the way you wanted it, but
no. It's always a hard battle when you're facing former
Jared,
pitcher, Jared.
16 batters, 15 strikeouts. Can you tell me who got on base?
That would be me.
Yes,
Oh,
base
yay.
on balls. Well done to you.
Thanks, Jared, for throwing us 4 balls there, mate. That was really nice. I did say to him before the game, look, you've got to be kind to me, bud. I did coach you to a state championship medal. So
2 weeks ago.
Please be kind to me.
Coach of the year in that team.
And that one as well, yeah, that's good.
So not only is Spacequake Sports donating, but the Red Stars Cafe and Bar 66 out at West Beach are going to donate $100 to the CFS Foundation.
Beautiful.
Terrific support.
Fantastic. Good to hear.
Is Tyler Asland up to bat for the Hills Heat. She's been in the country 11 days. She's won a state title with the Hills. This is her second Premier League game, and they are very excited to be here. They joined us on the commentary before as well, so I hope she does really well tonight.
I have no doubts that she is going to take this game by the league, I should say, by storm. I watched her down at the state champs just last weekend. Got word that she'd only been in the country for a short period of time, and she has just absolutely slipped in perfectly. She is a gun catcher, an absolute gun.
And they're actually a fantastic person as well. So bubbly, and she'll talk to you.
Absolutely.
And loves her softball as well.
Yeah.
Fouls this one off, and Jade Peterson gets ahead of the count here early on Asland. And, well, like I said, we want to see a run, but if we're not going to see a run, the outs we want to see are strikeouts, because David Muggleton and his team at Spacequake Sports donating $50 per run, $10 per strikeout, and we're already up to 5. Make it 6, so 60.
Beautiful.
In the kitty already, thanks to Spacequake Sports.
Good
now,
on you, Spacequake.
Joe, you're not just here for your charisma and your charm and your good looks. You're actually a first responder yourself.
Yes, yep. I was part of the National Parks fire crew for 10 years. So I've just recently retired from fire crew. I'm a 40-year-old man now, and having the young blokes run past me on a hose lay is pretty demoralising. It's a young man's game out there in the Parks fire crew. But yeah, 10 years with National Parks. It's a fantastic thing that the CFS guys do for the community, and that's not just responding to fires, but you've got accidents and trees down and all sorts. They're a fantastic thing to have within the community and help us out massively. And everyone knows someone within the CFS. Everyone has a family member or something like that. If that's not the case, then you've been helped out by the CFS somewhere along the lines, whether that is a car accident or a rescue of some sort.
Ground ball to Cochrane, who keeps the ball in front of her. How's that stretch?
What a stretch.
From McBurney at first to complete the out. A lot happening in that play. Let's have a look at the CMAX replay. Cochrane gets a pretty bad bounce. She blocks it with her chest, throws it across, and on the bounce, McBurney with a terrific pickup. That's our highlight play of the game already.
Yeah, that is an impressive stretch. I would not want to. Oh, no.
Oh, look
Ouch.
at that. Yep, I felt my groin twang on that one.
Yeah, me and you both. Yep. What a great stretch. And a great knockdown by Jem over at third. That ball was hit hard. She didn't hesitate, got her body behind it, picked it up bare hand, made the throw. No fuss.
Lots to talk about, including Joe Harvey here's joined us here as a special guest, but this is Mackenzie Ween, the designated player, up to bat for the Hills Heat. Quickly behind the count 0-2 as well, so Peterson wasting no time. Strikeout on
picked her up.
3 straight pitches. Another $10 to the kitty. So the CFS Foundation enjoying the work of the 2 pitchers tonight in Kistner and Peterson. Make it $70.
Yeah, and for anyone out there that hasn't hit off Jade Peterson, I will let you know the ball looks like it comes down like watermelon, and then you swing.
Like that, first pitch swinging, a ground ball to McBurney. That's Maddie Rocha retired. A 1-2-3 inning, 6 up and 6 down for the Hills Heat. We've got a tied game after 2. It's 0-all. Most importantly, though, we've got the $70 in the kitty already. Is that a phoenix as their logo for the CFS Foundation? We might get it if we can, but let's draw your attention. Very important images being shown, the work that the CFS do, but in the top right-hand corner of the screen is the QR code. Scan the QR code and donate to the GoFundMe page for the Hills Heat CFS round, supporting the CFS Foundation. And with the CEO of the CFS Foundation, Gloria Burney, on the commentary just before, and she gave us a great insight into what they actually do to support the volunteers that are in the CFS. And you mentioned you all know someone. My brother was a CFS volunteer for 7 years, me for about 9 months out at Concordia before I moved into the city. And did my training out at Bracunga. You would have had to do your fire training?
We did a lot of my fire training out at Bracunga there. A bunch of great fellas out there that help everyone out, do their BF1 training before they kick off. But yeah, do jump on that QR code there, guys, and donate. Like I said, everyone knows someone or has been involved somewhere along the lines.
Back to the top of the order for the Glenelg Rebels and Caitlin Carroll in a game that means a lot. We've got the 6th place Glenelg Rebels facing the 5th place Hills Heat. Only the top 4 go through to the finals in the CMAX Premier League. So Hills got a little bit of catching up to do, but they've still got, 9 games to go, including tonight. So if they make a late run for it, you never know. They might pinch a spot with all the top teams still having to play each other over the course of the remainder of the season. And Hills Heat tied on points with 4th place Sturt as well. So a win here and they can leapfrog the Falcons and into the top 4.
Yeah, Hills have absolutely got I've had a few really good games. They're really starting to pick up some traction. They've got some really important games coming up. Next week we'll see them play Walkerville. That'll be a really important game for them to try and knock off some points there. But they're absolutely still in that hunt. Those last few spots of that top 4 are going to be really competitive this year for sure. And I think we knew that from the get-go this season, that it was always going to be really tough.
Yep.
We go to a full count. Yeah, tough competition. It's so tight, you wouldn't even notice that in a blink of an eye, West Torrens have snuck out to a 4-point lead on the CMAX ladder. Ground ball. Kistner's going to do the fielding, and that's the first out over to King. So 1 out. Yeah, and then Walkerville, maybe the surprise packet of the season. At the start of the year, I would have thought maybe Port Adelaide, West Torrens, toe-to-toe. Sturda always up and around, but Walkerville sitting in second on 22 points. Now, they have played the most amount of games on 17, but you've got to put the points on the board, don't you? So they've banked their points, and they'll be one of the teams to catch come the final series. Megan Wheatley, for her second plate appearance, hit a double in the first.
She did. She's had the only hit of the game so far. Hit the ball into that centre-right sort of gap, so she'll be looking to get herself on base. She's a speedy runner. And then we've got Katie on deck behind her to try and hit her in.
Now back to our guest, Joe Harvey. 10 years the Pirates have been around for. I've got to give them a shout out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. The NFA Pirates, this will be their 10th year. So, yeah, big celebrations for us this year.
I love telling
fantastic.
Love telling the story, but I might let you tell it, mate. Tell us the origin of the team name.
The origin of the team name, so NFA. Everyone.
I always thought it was a rude. Rude name.
That's what everyone thinks. It's no effing around or something like that, which is great because we certainly do have that attitude when we roll out there. But we're Pirates.
Wheatley hits a line drive to right field. Temke takes a good catch.
That's
yes,
good
you
one.
are Pirates.
Very nice. Yeah, so we're Pirates, mate. No Pirates on land, only to gather supplies and whatnot. We're on the ocean, so we don't have an address. So that's NFA, no fixed address.
How clever is that? I love that.
So we're the no fixed address Pirates.
Really wasn't sure where that story was going for a hot second.
Well, you can see it on the screen. Every team's got a town or a place or a
Yeah.
location, and then they've got a nickname. And so the Glenelg
That's right.
Rebels or the Hills Heat.
Yeah.
I think that's a genius name.
Yeah.
Did you plagiarise it from anyone, or did you come up with it
No,
yourself?
that was just a thing with the lads were sitting around having a couple of beers and we're thinking, well, where are we going to be from? Woodside or Oakbank, or trying to think of those hills towns. But
Nan.
a lot of our players are from all over the hills, and there's a few from downtown, and we're all over the shop. We are literally pirates. So we band together on the ship. And we're the NFA Pirates. We don't have an address, mate. We roll into your town, fire cannons, sink you, and then off we go again.
Well, you might...
Didn't happen tonight, but
you might not have the
always
reputation of a pirate. You've actually turned yourself into a bit of a family club, haven't you?
We have, mate. We have, absolutely. You know, it started out as that single team of ragtag bunch of lads, and slowly we've started to develop ourselves into a really family-friendly club, and getting juniors on board and building our women's teams as well. So it's the future is looking really bright for the Pirates.
Amazing. Katie Holmes gets aboard with 2 out, so she'll be replaced by the courtesy runner, which is Megan Wheatley, and I know Chris Holmes, Katie's parents will be watching back in the States as well, so they'll be happy with that base on balls from Katie. And I can also see a couple of other big names watching as well. Harari Kurihara, she loves watching from Queensland. Hi to you. Or are they still in Japan? They may have come back already. And Johanna Grau will be watching from the Riverland. So
Doing a bit of scouting, I imagine.
wow. There's some more of our CFS volunteers just enjoying a snag by the looks of things. The barbecue's running hot down here at the Hills.
A couple of local Brakanga people.
Big shot here from McBurney. That
Over
would have
centre
gone over at West
That
Beach.
is
These are
going.
250-foot fences
Yeah, these
here.
are
The
big
first
fences.
run of the game is going to score. Wheatley crosses the plate. McBurney an RBI double. Not only is that the first run of the game, but that's a $50 donation thanks to Spacequake Sports.
Beautiful. Yeah, the fences are certainly a little bit longer here than what the girls will be used to down in town.
CMAX replay. Steph, talk us through it.
McBurney does a fantastic job on looking like a little bit of an off-speed pitch. She just holds her hand, doesn't try to overpower it, just takes the bat to the ball, and the ball has just enough lift to get over centerfield's head. Cracking shot, you're right. These fences are deep, and that ball was up and it was going all the way to 2. Megan Wheatley trots in quite comfortably to home to score that first run of the game.
7 strikeouts and 1 run in this game. Ground ball in foul territory from Peterson. So 7 strikeouts and 1 run. What's that? $120.
Yeah, that's $120 into the
Testing
kitty.
my math skills
Fantastic,
here, yep.
fantastic. Yeah, it's going to be start to be a bit of a test now, the old math skills.
So thanks to Spacequake Sports, and still looking for someone to match that. We're a very generous donation from Spacequake Sports to really get behind it. And around the softball community, we saw that there was already 3 donations, so it was already up over $100 donated, and it's a big target, it's a $10,000 target, but I'm sure
I think we can manage
we'll
it.
take every dollar.
Absolutely, take what we can get.
And we found out before, Steph Drzinski, to my left, works at Lululemon. They provide a 25% discount at Lululemon for
Oh,
first
beautiful.
responders.
First responders,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, well, I'll have to pay them a visit.
Yeah, so if any first responders who are currently working as first responder can come on in.
Fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
get around it, guys.
Absolutely.
Kistner like that one, low in the zone. Peterson stays off it. It's a 2-2 count. How's the crowd? It's really building around here. There's a
Oh,
buzz.
that's a
There's
good
another
one.
strikeout. So 8 strikeouts. It's the first of the inning, 5th for the game for Kistner. But the Glenelg Rebels are on the board, the first team to score in this game, and the first time that these two teams have scored in the Hills home game over the course of, 10 innings. It was 0 all over 7 innings
Yeah.
last year, and 1-0. And Christine Kistner has been pitching a beauty, but it was Carissa McBurney for the Glenelg Rebels who smashed one deep centre field. So there we go. There's some of the fans watching. There's board director Nicole Peterson in screen, and young Hank Farrell. Leo Farrell's watching there as well. Who else is watching?
Oh my gosh,
there?
is that Hank? He's so big.
Yes, he's
I wonder where he gets that from.
He's
right?
better at softball than Joe now.
Yeah, absolutely. He pitches faster than me, I tell you what.
A few of the Glenelg fans that have come up for the game, they won't know that they're on screen. Ben Marsh,
Yeah.
sitting on the back of the ute. How
yeah.
heels is that? Just enjoying a
the
cold
views.
soft drink by the looks of things. Well, 1-0 ball game. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Here is Noah Kistner for her place appearance.
So, seen the first one.
Big swing from Kistner now.
There's
Our-
that trademark rise ball by
from
Jade Peterson.
Yeah, I was just going to say our viewers would probably know that Kistner hasn't had many at-bats for the season so far, but she got a couple of opportunities at state championships and did pretty well, but she didn't face Jade Peterson, and she'll go down swinging. So strikeout means number 9, so $90 through strikeouts and $50 through runs donated by Spacequake Sports. And you might get sick of me saying it, but that's terrific support, and
It's fantastic.
only way to shut me up about that is to donate yourself. So jump on, support the CFS Foundation. Let us know that you've donated as well. But if you want to do an anonymous donation, that's okay as well. Georgia King.
Jade being very economical again, mixing in that change-up, which makes that rise ball seem that much quicker. She's got fantastic rotation, and they're such polar opposite pitches that she's really using them very well, set-up pitches. And credit to Katie behind the plate for really taking control of that too.
One ball, 2 strikes. I've put the phone away, so I won't be able to keep track of anyone's donations. It's about to go dead.
Oh no.
Just
no.
jams her a little, so it's a slow roll at a 2, and Nicholson underhands it over to first. It's the right play. You come up throwing overhand from that distance, and it's likely to go wild, and she just controls a little lob over to McBurney. Have a look at the CMAX replay and makes a good out. And if you want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time, log into cmax.com.au. I know of a couple of members of the softball community that have given me the feedback that they've spent maybe the night in hospital, $4,000 just for helping with a clinical trial.
Yeah.
So thanks
Jump
to
on.
cmax.com.au. Yeah, you did a clinical trial for hair growth, didn't you?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
were,
no,
you
yeah,
were
I did,
bald 5 years ago, weren't you?
I was, and several years of growth now. I've been cultivating it for a few of the fellas around the league.
Joe Harvey, for those that don't know, just wearing a massive mane of hair. It's very impressive.
No, I keep on getting asked, when is it going to come off? Because I'm worried that it's my identity
come
now.
back.
Yeah, it might not come back.
Well,
I think it's longer
for,
than mine.
maybe for a good cause, you might do it.
Yeah, well, we'll do it for a good cause for sure. It'll be the third time running for me. I think the only times I have shaved my head was the last 2 times for charity.
All right, it grows back so quickly.
It grows back very good. This is 4 years now. I think it's the last time I did it.
Great pitch.
Yeah,
and
very
change
good
up
pitch.
from Peterson trying to catch the outside edge.
2-2 count.
You'll see Jade with a few tricks up her sleeve with that change-up. She's got that rise ball that kicks, but she's also got that really good effective curve ball that sort of catches you unawares and can be that little harder outside pitch.
There's that hard and down pitch.
Yeah.
Tough to swing and hit after you've seen that change up on the outside edge. And 3-1 count, though. She doesn't throw many walks, Jade Peterson.
3-2 count.
Peterson
And away knock off.
trying to keep it down, and Daniels fouls that one off. Third time we've been to an Nembo Park for a Hills Heat game, but Space Creek Sports has actually broadcast a few of the men's finals as well, Joey.
Yes, correct. Yep.
We'll never forget the 2019 premiership of the Hahndorf Magpies that hits Mount Barker, and a strikeout looking for Peyton Daniels.
There's that
Number
curveball.
10 for the game.
There's that curveball that she throws so well and really catches you for such a different look to that rise ball that we're so used to seeing.
There's some more pictures of the CFS and the work that they do, the volunteers, hardworking volunteers of the CFS. Thank you for your support. So Jade Peterson, 5 strikeouts, not 1 base runner so far. So she's been lights out tonight. Kistner, on the other hand, also 5 strikeouts, but giving up a couple of hits, including the RBI double to McBurney. So we've got $100 out of the 10 strikeouts from this game so far, and $50
50 for the home run.
for the run scored. Supporting our CFS volunteers
Beautiful.
is the CFS Foundation. So just scan that QR code and donate to the GoFundMe page and really get behind this great cause.
Jump on it, guys. Jump on it.
2 more games to finish this round out, Steph. West Torrens are playing Seacombe
Tomorrow, yes. 2 o'clock, Seacombe.
And then the 4 o'clock game, I think it's Sturt's first game for 2023. They've yet to take the diamond in 2023.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, they've only played the 13 games so for the season. So they've got some catching up to do. So they might come home with a wet sail, the Falcons.
And not that I want to rehash it, but they did have a good end of the first half of the season.
The undefeated West Torrens lost their first game in the last minor round game before Christmas, and it was courtesy of Millie Fidge, wasn't it? She was a surprise player.
Yeah. So no, they all played really well. It was a fantastic game on both ends. But you're right, it has been a bit of a break for them, so they'll be looking to regroup and really knuckle down in the second half of the season.
Who are they playing? Are they playing Port or Walkerville?
Port Adelaide, 4 o'clock.
Walkerville with the bye.
Yeah.
Gemma Cochran goes down swinging. Another $10 to the kitty. Cochran had a walk and great ground ball, didn't she, fielding a couple of innings ago, but will go down swinging on this occasion. So 6th strikeout for Kistner. Really working well in partnership with Aslan.
You can see Aslan doing a great job of taking control out there. She's very vocal. You can see them really getting up and communicating with the team.
She really knows how to control a game. When I watched her down at States, she's up on every play. She knows exactly what's going on. She's just a phenomenal catcher. She's absolutely brilliant.
Great calling on that occasion. They get the outside edge.
Yeah, great pitch there by Noah. Oh, and you can just see Tyler there called something, changed her mind. And they shook it off and called something else. Came straight back with a great pitch by Kissner too, and now she's ahead 0-2.
1-0 ball game, top of the fourth, and these two teams have had a couple of tight battles of late. Can't forget that we saw a surprise pitcher for the Hills Heat this time last year.
Oh, that was when Charlie came out, wasn't it? Yeah.
Came over from New South Wales to throw, and
Charlie over in Tennessee at the moment, getting ready for the start of the NCAA Division 1
this
season.
Weekend? Is that
Yeah,
this
it would
weekend?
be, yeah. Exciting.
Can't wait. We've got a family fantasy league for the college.
Oh, of course you
season.
do. I'm not surprised.
It's so fun. I love it. Shout out to Kathy. She'll be watching, I'm sure. But her brainchild, and George won it last year.
Of course. Oh, fantastic pitch there by Kissner. You can see really sort of almost a textbook at bat here. She got ahead 0-2, went up and in to see if she could bait her on the high pitch, went out and hard twice through really great pitches trying to tempt Nicholson to swing, but she's had a really good eye since.
Base on balls, a great turn at bat from Nicholson, and runner aboard here for the Rebels with their 8-9 hitters due up. This is Walcott, and then it'll be Bree McGee on deck. Joe, what do you think of the uniforms as we see some more of our CFS volunteers?
Just between the CFS volunteers there, it's a good Pirates uniform.
What do you think of the effort the teams have gone to support the CFS Foundation? You can see the red and yellow checker plate.
This has been absolutely fantastic, mate. To have all the people roll out. It's been a good crowd tonight. Everyone's been jumping behind it. The weeks leading up to it has been fantastic. It's been great. So I can't wait for it to get even bigger in the years to come.
Well, by the sounds of things, the whole softball community up here in the hills have really got behind it, so I think it is here to stay as well.
Absolutely. No, it's a great event.
Walcott smashes this to the right side. She's got herself a single. Nicholson at 2, has to dive back. Ooh, she nearly turned, didn't she?
She almost a little bit closer, and she would have, she might have just snuggled a little tag in there.
Oh, CMAX replay. Have a look how hard she hit that ball through the right side.
Yeah, that was smoked, and you can see Lara in right field probably just misjudged it a little bit. Potentially was coming up to throw the out at 1, but it was absolutely smoked. So she did a good job really to stop the ball and to keep Tate at second. I think because the ball was hit so hard, Tate didn't get a big enough jump to actually take 3.
This is McGee. She struck out her first plate appearance, but now with 2 runners aboard, she's got a job to do here with 1 out. Move the runners around for the top of the order, and Caitlin Carroll waiting on deck.
Yeah, really key out here for the Hills Heat before the Glenelg turn around the top of their lineup again.
Just fans at that one a little bit, McGee, and just wants to have a moment to think about it. Takes a bit of a walk out the batter's box. I didn't think you're allowed to do that anymore.
No comment on that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I try to just stay in the good books as much as I can, play by the rules.
I don't think anyone's too sure. I'll just keep on going and doing my thing until I get told off.
Yeah. That's a good
I
way
think if it's
to
nice
look
and
at it.
timely, they're a little bit more lenient.
Yeah.
Here's Kissner. Deals, and it's low. Nicholson on 2. Walcott on 1. And the outfielders have to play a little deeper than normal, seeing as that fence runs 250 feet deep.
Absolutely, especially with runners on. Hills Heat are not going to want any ball getting in that gap. They're going to be in a much better position if they can cut the ball off and get it in. As soon as it goes through them with extra runners on, we're talking multiple runners, multiple base hit.
Timeout called from the Hills Heat. So Coach Christensen's going to come out and have a talk to her infield and to her pitcher, Noah Kissner, as Coach Brinkworth gets to have a chat with her third base runner, the youngster. Now the back net's pretty close to home plate. It's a bit closer than West Beach. Will they know that, do you think? They've played here once before, and Caitlin Carroll's the batter who will be in the box. So back to the leadoff, who has already been aboard once. What do you think about that back net?
Look, I'm sure the catchers are definitely going to be aware that it's a touch closer. The runners that are going to be on base, I'd hope that they're obviously having a look there, but is that in their mind straight away? I don't think so. I think you're probably looking at the catchers that have got it in their mind more, that they know that ball's bouncing a bit closer, the hustle's coming a bit quicker to the back fence to nab that ball.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that Nat over there at third base is pretty switched on. She's been around the block. I think she would hopefully have communicated to her young third base runner at the moment that, hey, we are not trying to do anything fancy here. We've got Caitlin Carroll, who's our leadoff batter, and we've got Megs up to bat, who's smoked the ball twice for her 2 at-bats.
Absolutely, yeah.
Called strike. So Kistner back into her groove. 1-1 count. Is she talking to herself, Steph, when she puts the glove up to her face like that, or is that just taking a deep breath, just trying to hide a little bit?
Little column A and column B there.
Ground ball to the backhand side of King, who plays home. Great pickup from Aslan to get the force out at home. Gee, that's a heads-up play from a young star.
Absolutely.
CMAX replay. Let's have a look at this backhand pickup. It was hit hard from Carroll.
Real nice. Knows where to go straight away.
That's knowing the play before it happens.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no hesitation. As soon as that ball was in her glove, that ball was getting fired home.
Another look on the CMAX replay, and if you want to help Advanced Tomorrow's Healthcare and get paid for your time, log into cmax.com.au. Thank you for your support of the CMAX Premier League. And still loaded bases here for the Rebels with Megan Wheatley up to bat. There's 2 out, though.
It's got to hope for a nice easy ground out here. Any corner. Finish it off. Let's get back into a bat.
Where's your allegiance lie with the Premier League?
Oh, Hills
Joe?
Heat, mate.
Hills Heat.
It's got to be a Hills Heat.
Have a look at some of these donations coming through. Joy Purcell, 150. Heather Daniels, 250. That donation total is already up to 620, not including the 160 that David Muggleton's got a bill for coming his way.
Excellent. Shout out to Troy Purcell. He's a Pirates player there.
Pirates coach as well.
Yeah, Pirates B-grade coach for the girls. Good on you, bud.
So 11 strikeouts and 1 run scored.
Yeah, 3-1 count. Kistner hunting, definitely hunting for a strike here.
Is a $160 invoice going to David Muggleton. But what would happen if we see a grand slam here? That'd be $200 in one swing of the bat.
Strike.
Swinging. Goes to a full count.
$200. I'm not crying at the $200, but the Hills Heat part of my heart says no. With the support the CFS goes over the fence.
Walk brings in a run.
Little bit outside.
You could see the heads up running from the Rebels around the bases. They were going on the pitch, a full count with 2 out, and that's the second run across the plate for the Rebels. So it's now $210 thanks to Spacequake Sports, $50 per run and $10 per strikeout.
That was a great at-bat there by Megs. You can see her get to that 3-1 count. And knowing the quality pitcher that Kistner is, going straight after that pitch. I think we had a bit of a foul ball catch out there.
Foul ball catch in the crowd out there.
That's for the crowd.
But then the discipline to stay off that last pitch, draw that walk, and have their 3-hitter and Katie Press come up to bat with the loaded bases.
Gets a nice piece of it. Goes over to shortstop Megan Williams. Throw that just dropped short of the first base player. 2-run score. So it's a 3-run inning for the Rebels. They're out to a 4-0 lead.
There's a costly error there. The shortstop.
Yeah, here's another look on the CMAX replay. Let's see where it all went wrong.
So that ball's hit hard to Williams at shortstop. that ball just short hopped King at first base, potentially used to that harder ground surface, and that ball just hit the ground and died and fell right under a glove, scoring 2 runs on the play and allowing Bernie to come up to bat, who of course had that big double her last at bat too.
So I was going to concur there that I think the ball's really hit that grass and just absolutely died in there, whereas normally sitting on skins, she's used to that ball really skidding off the dirt and slamming into her glove. She just sort of died in there in the glove and hasn't got quite the grip that she wanted to have to peel it to first, and just dropping short a bit.
McBurney in the box has 0-2 count. RBI double to her name already. Fouls that one off hard, and Steph, you pointed out that those 2 runs in that play is going to cost David Muggleton $100, $50 per run, so 200 in the game for runs and 110 for strikeouts, so $310 thanks to Spacequake Sports. Ground ball, hard hit shot. Here's Daniels, throws it over, gun arm.
There we go.
And that'll retire the Rebels, but they've done the damage. They've put 3 on the board, and they're at a 4-run lead.
A lot of work for Hills here, but there's still a little bit of time to go. We get a few good knocks around, some men on bag.
Good point. It is a time game, 90-minute game, so we're about 58 minutes in.
So 4 runs, it's not a huge deficit. You get a few runners on bag and you get a couple of good hits, you can certainly run down 4 runs.
Yeah, and Hills will be coming up through their second time through the lineup here, so they've all had a good look. So they'll be looking to start putting a little bit more pressure on scoring those runs. And as a defensive team, quite often when you do score those runs or you do break that sort of deadlock game, that next fielding inning is so important to keep that momentum on your side and really not let up. So Glenelg will be working extra hard this inning to shut them down. Hills, however, are going to be doing whatever they can just to get runners on base, because so far they've had 9 hitters up to bat and they've had 9 outs. So they haven't actually managed to get a runner on, and that'll be their focus for this inning.
Yeah, 5 of them being strikeout victims as well. Talia Rosa will lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Had a pop up to shortstop, her first plate appearance. High for a ball. Just looking around, I can see police car in the crowd, and
Yes, we have a local police officer that enjoys coming out and watching our softball on the weekends.
that because he heard the Pirates were in town.
And
our man,
cheap shot, James.
and you would never have guessed it, but our man KT over there having a chat to him. He's got the apron on, so he's obviously volunteering in the at the barbecue as well. So
Yes, he is. Yeah,
He certainly was. I think he
Hall of
cooked up my
Famer.
steak sanger earlier.
He did also mine as well.
Hall of Famer Neville Lawrence was over there volunteering
Yes,
again.
he was. Yeah.
He comes up every year, doesn't he, Neville, to volunteer?
Yeah. Volunteers his time up here. Yeah, great, fantastic bloke.
I wouldn't go that far, but La Rosa watches that one for
Yeah,
a
good
walk.
batting, good
a
disciplined
rare
batting
walk
there.
for Peterson, and that's the Hills Heat first base runner. So does that open up the gates for the Hills Heat? That's their first base runner, and importantly, it's come after an inning where the Rebels have put 3 on the board.
And that's what we wanted straight off the bat. Get that runner on bag.
Jorgensen shows bunt straight back to the pitcher, and Peterson's able to throw out the batter, but sacrifice by definition. She gives up an out to advance the runner. Let's have a look at the CMAX replay.
Abby coming around nice and early, absolutely broadcasting everyone that she's just here to put that bunt down, move that runner across, not trying to do too much. Jade does a good job, picks the ball up, fires the out at 1.
And now Williams drives one to the right side. Walcott gets the throw in quick, smart. And that's great fielding because La Rosa's unable to score from 2 on that hard shot to the right side. So well done, but the Hills have got runners at the corners.
That's it. That was a really good gap found them between second and first, and this is exactly what I was saying. We get some men on bag, advance the runner around. Now we're in a scoring position, It won't take long. If we start getting some good hits around, we'll knock that run deficit down in quick fashion.
There's LaRosa on the CMAX replay, turning 3. Timeout was called, so both offense and defense have an opportunity to have a chat, and Tola Aslan's the batter to the plate.
So with runners on 1 and 3 here, I know there'll be probably a lot of teams here watching to see exactly what Hills do in this situation, knowing that with finals coming up, we want to see how they're going to run, exactly how Glenelg are going to run and then fire that ball over at third base right away.
Love that play there from Press.
Without the runner taking off at first base.
Yeah.
So maybe a missed opportunity there
For the
to
Hills
take that
there,
base.
Yep. Smashes it. Aslan to centre field. It's an RBI single. And they've put the first run on the board for the Hills Heat tonight. 4-1 now, and they're moving.
There we
The
go.
Hills Heat. Let's have a look at the replay.
Some confidence in the box there. It's a great knock to centre field, bringing the run home through LaRosa.
Doesn't try and do too much, really just meets her hands at the ball. Does a job for the team as they're pulling in a pinch runner, I think, for catcher Tyler,
It looks like it.
Yeah, surprisingly,
with only 1 out.
yeah, only 1 out. They get a courtesy runner at 2 out. So interesting to see the young player coming out. Who is it? Can you see the name on the back there? If you can get a number, I might be able to help out.
66.
Davis?
Davis.
This might be her Premier
Chloe
League
Davis.
debut.
It sounds like it. The way the crowd is.
That's exciting for a
Yeah,
home game. She's
and
got a lot of family around.
Yeah, the bench is gathering at the bench there.
Well, the Heat are up and about. You can see them in their dugout, just really supporting here. Mackenzie Ween, the hitter, nods at that one, agrees that that's a strike. So 2 runners on for the Heat. They've already scored 1. There's 1 out. That came from a sacrifice bunt. Williams at 2, Davis at 1, and Mackenzie Ween has a good cut at that one. Goes foul.
Yeah, just gets the hands under it just a little bit. Sends it over the back net. So confidence in the box now. The bench is up and chatting. We've got 2 men on bag. We've got scoring position. It's looking really good now. Stay confident.
Gets her hands to this. It's a pop-up to the right side, and Walkup gets under it. Too close to second base, and she's been impressive out at right field in this inning, Walkup.
Yeah, she's had a couple good plays out there. That ball that Megan Williams hit was smoke to her, but did a fantastic job of picking that up. And that ball there, absolutely no hesitation, made that catch, knew exactly where the play was on that throw. Knew how important it was to make a good throw, giving that third baseman the long bounce, knowing that that runner may or may not be going.
Maddie Rocha shows bunt, pulls back, and pulls the trigger. So she's 0-1, 2 runners aboard. There's 2 out. The Hills have not had a base runner all night till this inning. Swing and a miss. So quickly behind the count 0-2. The throw from Press comes off the top of the glove. It nicks the glove of Peterson, but they're backing up. Was Tate Nicholson.
As a second baseman back in the day, every pitch you got to be there backing up that throw from that catcher. And I tell you what, when you actually get the ball, it's quite exhilarating.
Well, Jade Peterson doesn't show any signs of pressure with 2 runners on. Strikes out Maddie Rocha. So that's strikeout number 6. Make it 12 strikeouts for the night. And another run scored as well. So we are definitely supporting the CFS Foundation. And if you want to support the CFS and those magnificent volunteers that you see on screen, just scan the QR code and you can donate directly to the GoFundMe page. It's got some great donations, Steph. Caught you out, did I?
Yeah, you did. Sorry. I was not prepared for that. Some of those photos on the screen there, sorry, I was watching that, are really incredible to see all the hard work and the conditions that our volunteers are working in. It's quite confronting, really.
Yeah, the photo of that smoke in the background and the fire, the heat of that fire just coming through is unbelievable. It's couldn't imagine facing something like that on screen. I think it's the next one that
And I remember visiting Kangaroo Island after a lot of the fires and seeing how confronting that environment was. Just like all you could see was just burnt and broken, and it was really full on. But I was lucky enough to be there about a year after the fires hit, and you could start to see some of that vegetation come through, and it was really magical actually to be able to see that.
The regen on Kangaroo Island has been amazing.
Yeah,
I was part of Kangaroo Island when it went up. It was one of the gnarliest fires that I've certainly been involved in, and going through some of those areas where the fire is burnt so hot that the sand is ash.
But learning how incredible the vegetation is, that a lot of the vegetation out there is actually built to, like, thrives in that environment.
Absolutely.
Where it's a part of its cycle where after it does burn, it can regenerate itself out of that.
Yep, some plants need fire to be able to regenerate.
Incredible.
That's absolutely correct.
Joe, I know you probably don't like talking about yourself too much, but that was part of your job when you were at the fire.
I was responded to Kangaroo Island. I was also part of Cugley Creek,
but also backburning as well. That's important.
Yeah,
process.
so that part of National Parks and Wildlife, the fire crew that I was involved in, all the prescribed burns that you see around the place in Adelaide Hills. That's National Parks and Wildlife, Department of Environment and Water.
So if people want to get involved and start volunteering themselves, what does that look like?
So you can volunteer yourself and any CFS brigade in your local area. That's as easy as please. Just go in and speak to your local CFS department. National Parks and Wildlife, that's paid firefighters. So you're part of working for the government with the Department of Environment and Water. Those jobs come up seasonally. So in September, you can jump on the web and certainly put your application in and go and work for National Parks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's been a change. I'm just looking around the diamond. I can see that Erin Adams McDonald's come in to do the catching. Ground ball, and Kistner fields that one, and casually over to Peyton Daniels at first. So looks like
Peyton's moved over to first.
And Aslan's gone to third. So they're over at third. Daniel's over at first.
And Georgia King?
Maybe it's King that's come out of the game.
Potentially come out of the game.
Looking for their dugout. Yeah, I can see King in their dugout. So that's the change. So one out and a couple of shuffles around the diamond. And there's already one out here in the top of the fifth inning, and we play 90 minutes in the CMAX Premier League with no new innings after 85. So 70 minutes into the game gives us about 20 minutes left to go.
And it's great to see the, fantastic change up there. You can see that back of the hand has a lot of rotation, perfectly just off the plate, has that sort of good height and then really just dies. But great to see Erin come up and just the young catcher in a game, a really big game like this, catching to a pitcher who has as much experience and knowledge as Christine does have. And I'm sure having Tyler around is probably someone that Erin can really look up to and really, learn from her. That's the word, yeah. Learn from her and sort of just question Tyler and ask lots of questions. And Erin's absolutely a sponge, so she will thrive in that.
Another change up there from Kistner, and they celebrated that second strike like it was a strikeout. Maybe they lost the count. Otherwise, they just really appreciated the work that Noah's doing. All the Sturt Falcons will be supporting Glenelg here tonight, you'd say, as Kistner just comes in there and smokes one. As they're tied on points in the CMAX Premier League ladder, 14 points apiece in the run home to the finals. We've got an April 1st grand final this year.
Yeah, April Fools.
Yeah. Cochrane fouls that one off.
Great to see bringing someone like Tyler in, though. You can see that they have the versatility to be that catcher, to be over there at third base, and you can see them really getting the rest of the team razzed up and getting in their pitcher's ear and providing all that support. So really good to see those individuals coming over and getting involved in the game and really being a good feeder as Noah paints that corner, and you can see how priced up Erin is there.
You just saw it right there, and she's
Love that.
so into it. It is brilliant to see.
Yeah, that little bit of energy is fantastic.
They are just the part of the team that you really need out there. You know, when it's a little bit slow, they're the ones that get the rest of the squad up and firing.
Tate Nicholson now up to the plate. That strikeout takes the tally up to 13 for the game. So 250 in runs and 130 in strikeouts. And that's all going to the CFS Foundation. Thanks to Spacequake Sports. Interesting to see the young catcher Erin Adams-McDonald taking the signals from her coach in the third base dugout. That's not unusual. We've seen that happen at collegiate level as well, so it's not unusual. I've seen it at national championships before.
Yeah, I will say that's something that I did all 4 years through college, as all of our signals came from the bench.
That was from
Great
legendary Coach Ninemeyer. Am I right with that,
Coach Darcy actually gave those signs, and he's a USA Hall of Fame coach, NCAA, WCWS championship winning coach.
He was under Coach Ninemeyer.
No. He won when he was at ASU, at Arizona State, with Dallas Escobedo pitching.
Right.
Yeah, but Coach Ninemeyer was head coach. But one thing I did actually...
That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah,
Joe.
okay.
I was trying to say that Coach Ninemeyer was the head
Sorry.
coach of the team,
I knew exactly where you were
was
going,
getting
mate.
nothing.
Yeah.
I was getting
No, nothing. But one really great advantage of having the signs come from the bench is the ability to track what you're throwing to the catchers. So we would have someone next to the coach charting every single pitch that gets thrown, exactly where it is, exactly what happened, and then when that batter comes up again, we know the exact sequence they got, exactly what pitches they swung at and where they fouled them.
Actually, that's a pretty good point, because if you've got the catcher calling the game, then the coaches don't have that automatic feedback.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way of doing that, isn't it?
yeah.
Never thought of that.
No, neither had I.
Well, there you go. Students of the game still learning.
Still learning, mate, even for a Coach of Team of the Year.
But there's like in that with that system, there's lots of things you can pick up on, like, oh, this batter has seen, if they've had 3 really long at bats and they haven't seen a single change up this game. And there's lots of things that as a catcher you're trying desperately to manage so many parts of the game that you might miss things like that, but having a separate team do that.
I'm going to go home happy tonight that I've heard that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Tate Nicholson wanted a 3-ball walk, and and she'll go to a full count. So don't worry, Tate, that only went out to the thousands of people that watch our live stream on the CMAX Premier League each week.
It's okay, haven't we? Surely. We've all done it.
Payoff pitch with 2 out. Top of the 5th, eye for a ball, and Nicholson with a second walk of the game.
She's had really great discipline at the plate in all 3 of her at-bats tonight. Those first 2 at-bats, she went 0-2 and fought back into it consistently.
Got really good discipline.
Well, they've scored 4 for the game, but they've only had 3 hits. Glenelg Rebels, Sophie Walcott is one of those hits. Single to the right side in her last turn at bat. Aslan really riding that foul on, isn't she? She took another step in on the pitch, but
Yes, it's just
very close to the line at third.
Yep, they just took a little step closer, perhaps reading the batter. Maybe having a look at her stance, thinking that they're going to push it down the third baseline.
Walcott. Just a little dribbler back to Peyton Daniels for the 3rd out. So Hills Heat get out of that one without giving up a run, but a few long at-bats really ate into the time, because now we've only got about 14 minutes of game time. So if Hills Heat have a long inning here, they put a couple on the board, might be their last chance.
I dare say this will be their last little crack at the bat here to
well, if we
got
start
some
an inning,
runs.
we'll finish an inning.
We'll finish
so
it, yeah.
There's another look at the CMAX replay. And thanks to CMAX for your support throughout this Premier League season. And if you want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time, log into cmax.com.au. Really get behind those that support softball, and you can do that through cmax.com.au. And who else is supporting the Hills softball CFS round, Steph, on the GoFundMe page? What's the tally up to?
Well, we've had a double donation.
Double donation.
Double donation. One isn't enough.
One isn't enough for them.
No, so we've seen Troy put in twice, which is phenomenal.
Good on you, Troy.
Yeah, I love that.
Can't help himself.
Can you go a third? Can I see a third?
As I said,
Anyone?
can we see a third one? Good on you, buddy. Good on you.
Bottom of the 5th. Here's Kistner. Wants a surprise bunt. He's going to test Peterson here. The throw nearly goes wild. So a great take
Very
from
close.
McBurney at
Tell
first.
you what, she has some wheels on her.
Yeah.
Big long stride. She was up there really quick. Love to see that again. Sorry, such an advocate for an athletic pitcher.
You know any yourself?
Oh, a few. There's one out there on the mound I can see.
Here's a look at the CMAX replay. And McBurney really had to sneak that in, didn't she? Here's Erin Adams-McDonald. So she's coming in for her first at-bat of the game. Just trying to update my strikeout tally for Spacequake Sports, who are kindly donating $50 per run and $10 per strikeout to get behind and support the CFS Foundation.
So not only are they providing us with this phenomenal coverage, especially with that bird's eye view that they've got tonight, but that's so good that they're getting around it. Shout out to Dave and the whole crew and Brandon at Spacequake for putting their name up with these strikeouts and runs, which I tell you what a great game to have two phenomenal pitchers pledging those strikeouts.
Glenelg actually played in a game earlier this year where they scored 28 runs, I think. So David Margaretson happy that he wasn't getting $50 per run in that game. McDonald will go down swinging, so make it strikeout 14 for the game. And the second out. So 1 out away. We might see another inning.
We might just get one through.
Here's Peyton Daniels with 2 out. She's hitting 9 for the Hills Heat, but has shown over the years this youngster can really hit the ball hard.
She's a big game player too, Peyton. She's got an excellent temperament and is always able to come up and produce some really quality at-bats or get the hit in those sort of big moments.
Big swing and a miss. Well, whatever happens here, if it's the inning ending out or if Daniels gets on, we're going to see the top of the order for the Hills Heat one more time for this game. As time continues to tick away. No new innings after 85, so we're only up to the 80-minute mark. Hills dugout up and about.
They're trying to keep that confidence up in the box. If they're going to take their opportunity, and they take this now.
Swing and a miss, so we go to a 2-2 count on Daniels. La Rosa waiting in the on-deck circle. 4-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 5th. Change of pace and Daniels chases, but Peterson able to recover in time and throw it over. We will go to a 6th inning with the Rebels leading 4-1. And look how quick this Hills defense jumped out there. They want to make sure they get one more chance.
They want to get their one more opportunity and get out, get in quick. Let's get the 3 up, 3 down.
Now, your game was cut a little short tonight, Joe.
It was unfortunately.
It was 7-0 after 5, so international run rule, but you don't play that here because it's a time game in the Hills and you have a run limit per inning. Here's a shot of the people watching from behind the home run fence. I really thought you guys would have had it. That next inning I could see, 8 runs coming.
Just confidence in the box, and I felt it. I really did felt it.
Jared was on fire tonight, wasn't he? 15 strikeouts he threw to 16 batters.
He's a great guy. He is a phenomenal pitcher. We all love him around the park, and we all love to face him as well. You know, my softballing career up here, I've hit him for one safe hit, and I make sure I let him know every single time I see him. But we're always happy to get up there and face him. And what other opportunity do you really get to face that caliber of pitcher?
No, you never forget your first hit against such a pitcher of a caliber. I mean,
way.
I've lost count, so Jared, if you're watching, mate, maybe you can remind me how many I've hit off you. Outside for Bree McGee, this is the 9-hitter. So 9-hitter, handy 9-hitter to have, because we'll turn it round to the top. Caitlin Carroll on the on-deck circle. One-on-one count, and McGee, who's got a keen eye, now goes to 2-1. She had a walk her last plate appearance, scored a run in Glenelg's big 3-run inning, or $150 inning.
The big inning.
Nifty base runner too, Bree. She's got wheels. She's been around a little bit, so she's got excellent base pass knowledge as she just
Chops it down, it stays in play. Kistner, that athleticism, Steph, that you mentioned before, was able to get there quick, smart, on the line and fire in a throw. Let's have a look at the CMAX replay.
That's a really tricky throw from the pitcher when you're battling that runner, making sure you're staying on the inside of that line. But Kistner does a great job of getting to it nice and quick, staying down and keeping it in the eye line of Peyton Daniels over at first.
You're so close to that line. If the runner's just running slightly over, you don't have much view for your first baseman. Again, that grass, so as the ball landed in it, just died in the turf.
You see on the
really
dirt,
jump on it.
a spinner or a tricky one might go inside or outside the line at any time. And
that's right.
Or keep rolling. Here's Caitlin Carroll, fouls off the first one, showing her intent. Kistner has got some speed and she's got some movement on those pitches. That screwball, Steph, you used to be an expert at that in the younger days. You put that trick in the
it's in the back pocket for sure. Some of my lazy rise balls turn into a bit of a screwball, but unintentional, of course.
Don't see many screwball pitches in the men's game, Joey.
No.
You know what a screwball is? Cuts in at the batter.
When it goes in towards the batter, you don't see a lot of pitchers throwing them around here.
Jared was doing it for a little while, wasn't he? But he was calling it a cutter.
He was calling it a cutter at the time.
Get it to go down.
Yeah, it was a down ball that cut into the right-handed batter.
Yeah,
or
you
away
see
from the
that Kistner
left-hander.
does throw that screwball. She will throw it low, she will throw it high, and it can be sort of like a mix between that rise ball where it comes in at your elbows, and you see she'll throw that low one. She's been missing that low one a little bit tonight, and that might be that little bit of a difference, which does sort of sink a little bit and and go down on your knees. Similar pitches, but a little bit of variation in them. But if she can get both of those pitches firing, it can be really hard as a hitter, as she nails that change-up on the inside and catches Carroll looking for the second out of the inning. And another $10.
Another $10 thanks to Spacequake Sports going to the CFS Foundation. So make it 15 strikeouts on the night so far and 5 runs scored. So David, mate, I know you're watching. He's in Melbourne at the moment. He's covering the under-23 men's national championships. But what's that? 150 and 250, $400. Thanks to Spacequake Sports.
Megs has had herself a night too with a double, a line drive to Tam King in right field that got caught, and a walk to keep to actually RBI in one of those runs. So she'll be looking to keep this rolling for her team and keep applying that pressure.
Megan Wheatley.
There's that high sort of rising screwball that you can see she's just missing the corner of.
Just missing the tag.
The pitch finds the bottom of the zone. Just going back to the signals coming from the third base dugout. We saw the Australian Steelers, the Aussie Steelers at the recent Men's World Championships using the pitching wrist guards for the signals as well. So are you surprised that that's not coming from the dugout, or strikeout? So that's 2 to end the inning. 9 strikeouts for the game for Kistner, and time will run out. So that will be the last inning that she pitches. So the Hills Heat have got one more chance to bat in 3 runs to tie it, 4 to win. But 9 strikeouts, a great night out at work to help support the CFS Foundation. So 4 to 1. What do you see happening from here? The top of the order, the Hills Heat take some long at-bats, and although Jade Peterson likes to throw early strikes, she really gets on with the job, doesn't she?
Talia's last at bat, she led off the inning as well. And she was that run that scored. She went 3-0. So watched the first 3 pitches and drew herself a walk in the end. And Abby Jordanson bunted her around. So I'll be expecting to see some of the same sort of discipline from Talia. Not sure if they'll be sack bunting in this last inning, down by 3 runs, or if they might stay a little bit more aggressive. Who knows, there might even be some hit and run, some steals or something. I'm not sure if they're likely to give up an out at this stage.
That's what I'd like to see, aggressive play here. You know, we're going towards the last few minutes of the game. We're at the top of the order. LaRosa's definitely a disciplined batter in the box, but if she sees her opportunity, I think she really needs to grab it. The confidence is going to flow through for the rest of the batting order there, especially if we can get a man on bag early.
I think interesting to note too, La Rosa is the only hitter that has drawn a walk from Jade. She's also the only lefty in the lineup, I think, right? So
yes, yep.
Potentially, you know, that change in vision point from the pitcher sometimes can be a little bit tricky, as we see Jade fall behind 3-0 again. Yeah. So potentially, because we don't have that constant left and right, when it comes sort of out of you, it can be a little bit tricky to adjust.
There's the first one. So 3-1 count for La Rosa, and if she gets aboard, you've got Jorgensen, the Stars player, Williams, the veteran, and Aslan, the next 3 to come. High for a ball, and that's 2 in a row for La Rosa, and the lead-off aboard for the Hills Heat. Now, we are starting to run short on time, so in these instances where timeout called from the Glenelg coach, Nat Brinkworth, she'll talk to her charges. The Hills Heat offense can have a chat as well. We start to talk about player of the game, and tonight the CFS are presenting player of the game for CFS round. Now,
very cool medals.
They look fantastic
what a
as well.
touch.
So
they are great.
We've got a picture of that here, but not a picture of that. We're holding it here, but. It will be presented after the game. So we don't get a say in it, but we do like to talk about the CMAX clinical performance of the game. Tell me, Joe and Steph, who's been your player of the game so far?
For me, it'd have to be Tyler. They are just a phenomenal player. They've gone from catcher here. They're in the game 100% the whole time. Moving from catcher over to third base, knows exactly what they're doing. I just don't think you can fault them. They're a brilliant, brilliant player.
Yeah, Tyler has done a fantastic job behind the plate. Has RBI'd the 1 run for Hills to sort of keep that spirit moving.
Yep, that
but
too.
I struggle to look past someone like Jade, who's done such a great job of keeping the Heat to only 1 run with, I think it's 7 strikeouts, or Kistner's got 9 strikeouts herself.
7 so far, Peterson, but not unlike a pitcher to give another pitcher the praise, right?
Yeah, I was going to say something, but we know what pitchers are like, don't we, James?
Katie Freeze just on screen now. May have copped a little bit of dirt in the eye, but she looks like she's okay.
I think you're definitely right. Jade
has
has done a fantastic job tonight. It's probably just a bit biased of me looking at the Hills Heat girls.
Carissa McBurney
there
broke the game open.
There has been, the Glenelg hitting lineup has been a little bit of everyone contributing, which is the first thing I looked at. But it has been quite a team effort from Glenelg, so it is really hard to single out a single hitter from their hitting lineup. But Jade's just been phenomenal in the centre.
Yeah. Well, good luck to whoever it is that is selecting the player of the game. CFS medal will be presented to them. We like to call them the CMAX clinical performance of the game. But we do have a contest still. It's 4-1. The Hills are chasing down a run. They brought in a pinch runner. I didn't see who it was. We were too busy chatting. Looks like another youngster's come into the game. That one's outside for Abby Jorgensen. Chloe Zackley, I'm told, is the pinch runner, getting the nod from Joe.
I think so.
Yeah, Caleb's sister.
Caleb's young sister, yeah.
And he's
I
got
believe
some
so.
wheels, so I would dare say that
Caleb, another young
Chloe's got
Hills
some as
superstar.
Yeah.
The
In the
championship
making, right?
medal.
Yeah.
Yep, championship medal winner.
So Abby doing a good job here, fighting off some pitches. Keep her team alive, not seeing her sack bunt, playing that aggressive game.
off the plate. That's going to give Zackley a chance to advance. She went away and played in the state under-16 team, so has a little bit of extra knowledge to bring back to this Hills Heat team and really take on the Premier League if and when she gets the chance like she has now. So runner in scoring position now for Jorgensen. She's made her way to a full count. Outside, so back-to-back walk, so
Good discipline there.
surely there's no nerves being showed here from the veteran. Jorgensen safe, and timeout called from Katie Priest to have a chat. Now, I saw just walking past your partner in crime. I'm surprised he's not in that fancy Pirates suit.
I've also got one as well.
I know you do. It's a fashion faux pas if you've ever seen
Yes,
one, Steph. Maybe they need to get down to Lululemon for their 25% discount
Potentially,
for
yeah.
a
Hook 'em up.
first responder. And that was great of the CFS Foundation CEO, Gloria Burney, to acknowledge that. She said she's going to promote that a little bit
Yeah,
as well.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So we see the tying run up to the plate here with none out. And both Megan and Tyler, who was the on-deck hitter, both had safe hits their last at-bat. So I'm sure Glenelg will be very aware of that. Knowing that they're up, they really just need to focus on getting outs here. They can afford to give up a run. So playing the ball pretty safe.
Yeah, Williams is a dangerous batter. She's got the RBI so far for the Hills Heat. And oh, sorry, she got the
has the-
single
yeah.
She got the
that
single.
advanced the runner to allow Tyler to bring in that run. You probably just finished saying that.
That's all right.
I was just off thinking of other things. 2 runners aboard here for the Hills Heat as she gets a nice piece of this ball.
There
It's
it
going to
is in
drop
the gap.
short of the centre fielder, Caitlin Carroll, but she gets in quick, smart. All runners advance safely. Zackley, there she is on screen on 3. Williams happy with that. She's on 1. And here's a look at the CMAX replay. Just half swing. Does the job.
Just getting that ball, you can see right there, short swing. She's got that adjustment, that timing swing, pulls her hands back, throws her hands at the ball, just does exactly what she needs to do to make contact.
Walk, single, loaded bases in the bottom of the 6th. Aslan gets a great piece of this. It gets over the head of the right fielder. This is going to tie the game up. Look at Williams go. She doesn't break stride. She scores at the plate. A 3-run double from Aslan. The scores are tied.
There it is. That's what I was telling you. The confidence in the box. Get a couple of runners on the base.
That
kick
pumped it too, Aslan. Let's have a look at the CMAX replay. It's only tied.
It's tied. Hang on, something's happened.
No, I think they called.
They called time. Someone's called time. I'm pretty sure someone called time.
It's chaos at the moment.
It is.
Aslan's hit a 3-run double to tie the game. Now, they were so pumped that they thought it was a walk-off, but it's not. Glenelg are appealing for an out as the umpires are going to come together. We've got a 4-all ball game, unless I've got the score wrong as well.
Yeah, I've got 4
No,
all
I've
too.
got 4 all.
And you can see right away, Steve was right on it and said there was time called, there is no out at second base. And
Yeah,
he was
that's
very
right.
firm on that one.
I was pretty sure I heard time being called there.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about
Hadn't missed
player
anything.
of the game.
Can we go back to Tyler?
At minimum, this
Yeah,
game
yeah,
is going to
okay,
be
okay.
tied. The Hills Heat still have an opportunity to win this game with none out and the winning runner on 2. Here's the CMAX replay. The Hills think they've won it as they celebrate there. And look at Tyler's batting glove. They probably got some sort of superstition. It's ripped open. It looks terrible, the one on the left hand. Look at it.
Oh, yeah, it is too.
But Tyler, they've got 4 RBIs in this game, all 4 RBIs. There's the
Wow.
celebration from the Hills Heat players. They thought they'd won it, but here's Mackenzie Ween.
So Mackenzie flied out to right field this time. Last time, sorry. Fly out to right field here. Again, there's none out. That'll probably be enough to advance the runner.
Strike swing. So the intent shown from Ween with the winning runner at 2. The outfields come right in, haven't they? Great shot from Ween.
And there
That's
it
got
is.
to do it. It just gets
Aslan
to the
coming
backhand
round.
side of Carroll. Aslan
Aslan.
will score, and it's the
And there it
walk-off
is.
for Ween. This time, the Hills Heat have won it 5-4 in a 4-run final inning. Unbelievable.
What a fantastic comeback there by Hills Heat. You can see they just didn't try to overpower the ball, just put the ball in play. They were disciplined. They had seen some pitches throughout the game. They did a really good job of then just attacking those strikes, knowing Jade's going to throw them in there and playing the real team game and just hitting around.
That's right. It was good disciplined batting in there, just waiting for their moments, waiting for their pitch. You know, if it's not in the zone, if it's not something that I want to hit and put out there, then I'm going to leave it alone. And it's worked for them. Like I said, when they were 4-0 down, it wasn't a big deficit for them to chase. They just needed to manage to get some men on bag or some players on bag there, and knock the runs in. Some nice little bleeding hits, nothing silly, a couple of big hits, and there we have it.
There's the CMAX replay, and there is Tyler Aslan crossing the plate.
Look at the smile on her face there too.
Yeah,
Absolutely fantastic.
a great start to your back half of the season, joining the Hills Heat. They've been in the country for 11 days, won a state championship, played 2 Premier League games for 2 wins, including 4 RBIs to keep their team in the game.
And she was the 5th run.
And
they were the
unbelievable.
5th run.
They were the 5th
Unbelievable.
run and the game-winning run. So
They're a
massive.
superstar, an absolute superstar.
Yeah.
Well, for them to be in the country for
11 days.
11 days. It is absolutely phenomenal.
All right, just going to cut you off there, guys. Brandon, we might stick around for this footage of the presentation. The Hills Softball Association have just got both teams to line up for us, and they will present the player of the game thanks to the CFS and the CFS Foundation CEO. Looks like Gloria Burney's heading out there to present the player of the game. So we'll keep talking just as this is happening, because you might not be able to hear it from here. But a great initiative from the Hills Softball Association to create this round for the CFS and the CFS Foundation.
Yeah, and just taking a look at the ladder to see what that does to the game. Hills have another win on the board. That puts them on even wins with Sturt,
But 2 points ahead.
but 2
because they
points ahead
played
because
that.
of 2 draws.
Yeah. So into the top 4, the Hills Heat, and is Alex Mackey doing some of the presentations on behalf of the Hills Softball Association. And Lynn Adams is there with the beanie. She was a massive part of it. We heard the CEO of the CFS Foundation, Gloria Burney, mention Lynn Adams. And a great acknowledgement to the Glenelg Softball Club, who have come up here for a 2nd year in a row. Obviously, a huge part of the softball calendar now, the Hills Heat home game. So there's the player of the game, and There they are.
No surprises there on that one, I
Aslan,
think.
player of the game. Joe, you seem pretty happy with that?
Well, yeah, she was my player of the game.
Yeah.
As they were mine as well. So
They're absolutely brilliant. I cannot have more praise for Aslan. She's just unbelievable.
And the energy and the charisma that you can see they
Yeah.
bring to the game from the very first inning, was just phenomenal. You can see how that sort of followed on throughout the rest of the team. Seeing Erin be able to come in and sort of deliver that exact same sort of enthusiasm, didn't miss a beat, was really, really magical.
I think you would see a very different side if you didn't have their energy and their input into the game.
magnificent. Well, that just about wraps things up for us here at the Hills Heat home game CFS round. You can still go online and you can donate to the CFS Foundation. Scan the QR code that you see on screen right now, or go to the link that we've got pinned in the comments. I want to thank CEO of the CFS Foundation, Gloria Burney, for her time. I want to thank you, Joe Harvey. You played tonight. Now you jump on the commentary and you helped us out. So thank you very much. And to Steph Drzezinski for giving up your Friday night and coming aboard and commentating. This is the CMAX Premier League, but the Hills Heat have provided the funds for the broadcast tonight. So thank you to the Hills Softball Association as
thank you,
well.
Hills. Awesome. Thank you for
Thanks
having
for
me.
having us,
Yes,
James.
thoroughly enjoyed that. It's been a pleasure.
Tonight, we've seen two great games. It was 7-0 to the Mount Barker Red Sox over the NFA Pirates. And in the main game for the CMAX Premier League, it was the Hills Heat, 5 runs to 4 in a walk-off shot.
You'll be able to.
Good night.
Good night.